stage, silly games of second guessing. I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve. Because one street over there's a life I couldn't have known would have kept me from the one I love today.
Good morning, Robertson County. How you doing? Happy week. Happy Monday. Getting into a brand new week. This is 1100 WSG. I'm Utah Laverne, and of course, that's the Woodshop Ramblers singing us in as always. And don't forget, Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival is coming up third weekend in May. So excited about that. Hello, Jamie Nixon's in the house. My goodness, you're kind of here all the time now. We love it.
Seems like it. I'm just kidding.
This is the first Monday of the month is sports. We're going to update you on all the sports going on, and so that's what we're doing. And then we also do 7 a.m. on Thursdays. Now, ideally, though, we want to hear from the other schools. Now, we have made it available where you can call in now. And so we've got Blaine Keller going to be calling in here in just a little bit, and he's going to talk to us about some things going on with some of the commitments and things such as that that are happening around the school. And we also have to comment on the lovely, lovely backdrop that we have now that is got Jesus up there, and it's just more spiritual. The flag is down, and this is a Christian-based radio station, and so we love this. This is very pretty, and thank you, LU, for fixing it up for us. But they're going to do some more work in here, so we're going to see changes as they continue to make it more, more innovative and all the things that they're working to do with this broadcast facility here in Robertson County. So kind of cool, huh?
I like to say engaging, because there's times where people probably zone out on me and you, and they probably start looking at what's, I do that a lot. My ADD will kick in when I'm watching podcasts, and I start looking at the little things on people's desk or on the shelves behind them and things like that. So people
pay attention. So the flag has been up there for a very long time. It even came from the studio. It actually belongs to the Republicans here in Springfield, so we'll need to get that back to them. I'm kind of like I'm going to borrow it at school for a minute, though, because I need extra backdrops. But anyway, but I want to give the Bible reading for today. If you're reading along with us for the year, we're in Leviticus now. Yay. I know, it's hard to read. We're Leviticus 1 through 4 and Psalms 30 today. Leviticus 1 through 4 and Psalms 30 is our daily Bible reading. And if you want to know more about that and get the great devotionals that Rachel Culver puts out, you need to reach out to him at Bethlehem Baptist Church, and she can get you on board with that. So, Jamie Nixon, what are we going to talk about this morning? And we're going to have Blaine call in here at about 7:30 at the bottom of the hour. So, what you got for us, my friend?
Well, I want to start off with you guys out at Greenbrier. Yeah. So Jim Sorrells, I was talking to Jim Sorrells last night, and he sent me a text, and I just asked for him a rundown in basketball right now.
Right.
We have 1 week of basketball left. Now we're going into the district tournaments. And he said the girls are 14-7. They are 5-3 in the district, and he said they should finish second.
Oh, wow.
He said nothing of consequence for them, regardless of what happens. When number 1 Creekwood plays number 2 Montgomery, I guess that's Montgomery Central. He said Lady Cats. Is that Montgomery Central? Yeah, I think so. In the regular season finale, he said the boys are 15-6, 5-3. He said nobody wants to win the district. Last Tuesday we had a 3-way tie. Going into this Tuesday, we're still sitting in third place behind Creekwood, Portland, and in front of White House.
Okay.
Unexpected loss Friday to White House, coupled with a surge out of Portland and Creekwood, has things interesting heading into the tournament time. 4 games left for the boys and girls. Monday versus East, which would be East Robertson. So tonight we have Greenbrier playing East at East. Tuesday versus Portland. Friday versus Joe Burns, and then Monday the 13th, the finale versus Creekwood. Except for East, all those games are at Greenbrier. Girls win or lose are steady in second place. Boys are pretty much locked to 1 loss already to the teams left, and their regular seasons are done after us. District tournament will take place at Greenbrier. So I was going to let you know your district tournament is at Greenbrier. Plenty of opportunity for you to catch some basketball games.
I better get there.
Boys and girls.
So,
yes.
Okay, so tell me again when those games happen.
It will be after Monday the 13th is the finale, so you're looking at February the 20th, maybe February the whatever Friday that is.
All right.
Thursday, Friday is when those games are going to start there at Greenbrier.
Okay, so Thursday, because
Yep.
see, I've got something going the weekend of the 18th. I've got like a marriage conference I'm doing. I'm going to. So that's the thing. I've got so many things on my calendar, but I want to go. But now, how long will it go? Will it go just through the weekend, or?
No, it should go. It should be first round, second round, and then you should have an opportunity to actually maybe see the championship game on like a Monday night.
Okay.
I'm thinking
Mondays work for me.
It
Mondays
really
work
just
for me.
it really just depends on how they set up their tournament. Different
Okay.
schools, because our district is going to be at Joe Burns.
Okay.
So East Robinson's district with Joe Burns and Lead Academy and not Lead Academy, Knowledge Academy and STEM Prep and Trousdale County.
Right.
I'm trying to think of the other teams that they're all playing at Joe Burns.
Okay, that's cool. So a lot of great basketball happening here in the county, and so I will get there. I will get there. I will get there. We just got to. It's a priority. So because I love basketball, I really do. It's exciting. So very good.
The information I have on Springfield girls is that they're 8-13 overall, 3-3. They're on a 1-game winning streak. Home they're 4-4, and away they're 3-7. And they're coming up games. They have a game tomorrow night versus Clarksville, and then they have a game Friday night versus Spring Hill. That's the next 2 games that they have. So the 7th and the 10th. And it appears
Home
both
or
of them,
away?
It appears both of those games are away.
Okay. So that was the thing. Most of the times I can make it on Friday night. I just happen to have that marriage conference coming up at Bethlehem Baptist. I don't know if you can still register for that or not, but that's the weekend of the 18th, I think, is when that is happening. But just all kinds of stuff going on and some great sports going on right here at the district tournament time. So,
Actually, for Springfield, boys and girls, they played Tuesday
okay.
at home
Okay.
against Clarksville.
Okay.
And then they play at home. So both of those next 2 games are at home.
And that's Springfield, though, not Greenbrier. We were
Right.
talking about the Greenbrier games. Those are away, though, we're pretty sure.
Except for no, they're all at home except for the East Robertson game.
Except,
Tonight.
okay, so they're playing East Robertson tonight at home at Greenbrier. Hold it. I'm so confused.
All right, let's
I
back
need to
up.
make
Let's back up.
notes. I need to make notes.
Laverne.
Okay. Okay.
They're playing East at East.
Tonight.
Those other 3 games are at home.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for the clarification.
No worries. And those games are 4 games left. Monday tonight. Today's Monday, and it's feeling like it.
Yeah, it really
East Robertson. Tuesday, so tomorrow night, home versus Portland. Friday, home versus Joe Burns. Monday, home versus Creekwood.
Okay. I think I can go Friday night.
Yeah, and that'd be a
Okay.
great county game. Friday
Okay,
night
good.
against Joe Burns.
Good. Okay, I think I can go Friday night. All right, that'll work. And I love this, but I appreciate you helping me. I mean, you have to just lead me. And once I've got a year or 2 behind me in teaching, I won't be so just overwhelmed. But it's a good overwhelming, but there's a lot to it. So I appreciate you so much keeping us apprised of everything going on.
No problem. And then the district that East and them are in, like Jim said, there's nobody wants to win this district. It seems like there's going to be a 3-way tie. I believe the district might actually, it could come down to a coin flip.
Oh my gosh,
Just
I
to
hate
see.
that.
Just to see who's going to be the number 1 seed. And those important seedings are, you get a first round bye automatically into the region. Then you
Yeah.
possibly host a game, you possibly get another game at home. And so that's really big as well. And it's also puts you in different sides of the bracket, depending on which teams that nobody will say this out loud, but there's definitely teams that you would rather play. There's always going to be an easier path. I mean, they both could be
Sure.
hard paths to the championship, but one might be a slight bit easier, or you might match up with a team a little bit better than you match up with another team. So having that, is one of those things. East Robertson had a win on, man, it's been kind of crazy doing the stuff at East. Thursday, I traveled to Lincoln County to see our middle school girls.
Yeah, I
in
was
the
wondering how that
third
worked.
the third round, which is basically what would be called the sectional game, or sub-state game for all of you old school people out there. So that was at Lincoln County versus South Lawrence, and East Robinson Middle School girls won that. They play this Friday night at Rockville High School. There's only 4 teams left in their classification. So if the Lady Indians win, or when the Lady Indians win Friday night, they will play for the state championship Saturday.
That's
the
cool.
Following Saturday at Stewart's Creek Middle School.
Okay.
That game, I believe, is at 1:30. So really cool. Those girls were the county champions once again, the third year that they were the county champions.
Very exciting.
And see them to go this far and playing this well. First win was against East Nashville. Second win was against Creswell down in Bordeaux or down in Nashville, and then South Lawrence. So those have been the 3 wins for them in the middle school state tournament.
So as you're talking about this middle school, and that is so cool that they're so close to the state championship. You said where it would be played. How far is that from here? How easily would it be for us to go and watch that state championship?
Stewart's Creek is like the Smyrna area.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah. Okay.
And they're playing a team called Inglewood Elementary.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar with Inglewood, but
different Inglewood.
Oh, okay.
Inglewood Elementary down close to Chattanooga.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was familiar with Inglewood as well because my mother before she moved on to Madison High School, she actually went to school at the high school there. It wasn't called Inglewood. It's in Inglewood, but it was called.
Everybody's screaming at me that goes to Madison with me because I see those school. I know what you're talking about, but I can't recall it. Remember, I'm not from around here.
Yeah, what is?
I went to Lowe's High School up in West Kentucky, but
I'm trying to remember now.
You talk about how these names repeat, though. It's so funny because we were in Alabama going over to Huntsville to see my son yesterday, and we were like, well, there's Greenbrier. There's a Greenbrier right there before you get to Huntsville. So I thought that was kind of funny. I'm like, we can't come up with any new names. But go ahead.
No, I'm texting Blaine, make sure that he's ready to call in here in a little bit because we do want to talk about those Roberts County student athletes who have committed to continue to go on. One of the Sean Groves signed Thursday, so that was a pretty eventful day. Like I said, for me last week, I was at Sean Groves' signing at 11, left at 1 o'clock with the middle school team on the bus. Won't do that again. 18 cheerleaders, 15 basketball players. Me and the coach's son and one of his friends were the only males on the bus. So there was me and 2 other males who were under 10. So yeah, I just put in the AirPods and try to.
That's hysterical.
Try to slip away a little bit.
So was the bus driver female as well?
No, I forgot the bus driver was male, and I don't know. I don't know how he kept it on the road with. I just know that. The Miley Cyrus's "Party in the USA" is still a very, very big hit. Yep, which is
kidding.
I'm like, okay, can we play another song?
Thank you. Oh, that's hysterical. Bless you.
I know.
Bless you. See, I don't know how to act around girls either because I'm a boy mama, and so when I get around all the girl stuff, and it's school, it is fascinating to me. The girls, it's just like and stop screaming, stop squealing. It's funny. We digress. We're both a little ADD, can you tell? Let's take a break. Let's pause for a minute. Let's talk about Corbin Creek Greenhouse, Gifts and Gardening Center. Love those folks. If you're wondering, this is a phone call I had to make because if you've ever been to my house, I have English ivy everywhere. I am fixated with this stuff. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. And I have it draped on my porch. I've got it just all over the place, and I just think it's cool. Well, it looks really bad right now. As a matter of fact, I was thinking when I was looking at it, I'm going to have to cut it down and let it regrow. And that takes a while with what I have on my porch. I don't know that it will ever, do what it's doing again because it takes years to get there. Well, I talked to Amy, and she said, what happened, that polar vortex thing that happened at Christmas has really done a job on the evergreens. But she said, don't be pruning. Wait and let's see what spring does. And if you go up to a lot of this evergreen and you start scratching at the things where they've dropped needles or they've dropped leaves, you'll see that there's green underneath oftentimes. Now, some of my offshoots of my ivy is probably going to be pruned back, but I think the core of it, the main stalk, the main trunk of it looks pretty good. Even my wisteria is still green when you go and scratch at the stem. So hang on, guys. I know the evergreens are looking pitiful right now. But she said, we really don't know what's going to happen, but she really thinks that they're going to come back out in the spring. So just sit tight. Don't start pruning stuff. But those are the kind of questions. Right now is a really good time to get those answers because she's not as covered up with the summer stuff. And I mean, she is very busy getting ready for spring and getting everything in the greenhouse, but it's a little bit easier to get those questions answered when she's not quite so pressed with all the warm weather events that they have going on out at the greenhouse. They're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4. They're open Saturday from 1 to 4. Go in and see them. Always something happening at Corbin Creek, and you can also talk to them about CBD and all the benefits and how it's really benefited me with my arthritis. Go and talk to them today. Get by there. Oh, and I clicked off of it before I gave you the phone number. Best thing to do is follow them on Facebook because they keep their hours. They keep everything updated. It's just wonderful there. They're at 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185 at 4920 Highway 161 in Springfield. When you talk to them, please always let them know that U-Turn sent you. And let's get right back into the show as we're talking about all things that are sports related in Robertson County. Where do you want to go next?
Well, excuse me. I try not to cough there while you're
you're
doing
fine.
So Thursday we had the middle school game. Friday we had a makeup game from where school was out, and so we played Merrill Hyde at home. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And then after Thursday's game, then we had Saturday, and we played Lead Academy, a team that we hadn't played this year, and just a very athletic basketball team, very well coached, and we have a junior named Elijah Groves. Now, I know a lot of people heard about Taylor last year, and Taylor played basketball and football. He signed with Ole Miss, and actually Taylor was in for this game. He came home for the weekend, and he got to come home and see his cousin Elijah. He didn't make it home in time to see his brother sign on Thursday, but he did make it home to spend.
I thought the signing was moved to Friday. They ended up having it on Thursday?
They ended up doing it on Thursday.
Oh, because were we out of school on Thursday? Yeah. Because we went to school on Friday, remember? And I thought it got canceled Thursday.
Correction. You are correct.
Okay.
You are correct. It got moved to Friday.
But yeah, because of the ice and all that
Yes.
stuff. So
See,
it was a weird week. I mean, it was
was.
just so bizarre. Yeah.
I thought it felt weird when I said I went to a signing and then I went to the game.
No,
I
it
just
was on
showed up
Friday.
and went to the game,
Yeah.
and it was on Friday.
It was on Friday.
And so he got in later on that Friday night, and then he was there Saturday. Well, Elijah Groves had 38 points. He was only, I believe he was 3 steals away from having a triple-double.
Oh, wow.
And if he had had 4 more blocks, he would have had a quadruple-double, which is, I can't say that that's ever happened at East Robertson. I'd have to go back and talk to some other people that know a few more stats than I do.
Explain. A quadruple double, what are you talking about? I
Okay.
don't have any idea what you're talking
So
about.
a double-double is if I score double figures in points and rebounds.
Okay.
If I have a
Okay.
triple-double, it's usually the easiest triple-double, I should say, is for guards and point guards to get points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay.
He
So he
would-
would have a triple double with assists, rebounds, and points. Oh, okay.
He would have had points, rebounds, and steals. And then his
wow.
quadruple-double would have been points, rebounds, steals, and block shots.
Nice.
Yeah, he is. He plays the forward position, so he
Wow.
doesn't get a lot of opportunities for the assists.
Right.
So, but
What
just,
an all-star. My goodness.
scoring 38 points, only a junior, and he is.
Wow.
He will be a Mr. Basketball candidate. We do believe that voting or that
exciting.
recognition has already been started. Nixon Pro made the graphic to send out to all the coaches.
There you go.
Shameless plug. But we're very happy just to partner with everything East Robinson Athletics. And so so we have a game coming up Monday. So we had games. I had games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and now Monday. Luckily, I get off the whole rest of the week until Friday when we go to White House. That's also the middle school game, but
Okay.
we can't broadcast that game. So like when it gets to the state tournament, it's about who can broadcast and who can't. And so it's unfortunate that we do not get to broadcast that game. So we will be keeping an update.
That's a shame because that's when people really want to know what's going on, and you would think all these ones like you that have followed it all the way through, they would let.
Well,
You know.
but I think what it's more about is that they already have a deal with Stewart's Creek to host the tournament,
Okay.
to stream the tournament. So I think it's one of those things where the Stewart's Creek people are going to be able to stream it, and we'll still be able to watch it. Or people
So
will be
we
able
can
to-
share it in all of that. So we can share what they're doing about
I'll end up sharing it to our
Okay,
broadcast.
yeah.
So
Okay.
So we have all that going on. Of course, we have wrestling coming on, and maybe Blaine will know a little bit more about wrestling if you want to ask him about the wrestling. And I did. He just did reply to me. He'll be calling in at 7:30, and I'll let him kind of take that over because you'll have the headset. But it's just it's always been an incredible time in Roberts County. We've always had great athletes, great coaches, great teams, and it's one of those things where coming together and talking about it is something that's never been done. But it's almost like you're sitting here talking about it, and there's so much to talk about.
Right.
That it's kind of hard to cover everything. So once again, we need people. Either send Laverne a message, send me a message. Every week we do this at Thursday. If you want to just educate us, we'll sit here and talk about it. And
you can call in, and I will get a splitter because we can split you some headphones. And whenever I knew that Blaine was going to be calling in and y'all were both going to be in here, I just didn't have time to get it together for this morning. But I will get something in here where you can have headphones. So if we've got somebody calling in on Thursday and you can join us as well, and we want to have that back and forth conversation, because I think that's been one of the holdups to getting other folks in here on Thursday. People just can't make it work with their work. And and it is a thing.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that flexibility, the only reason I have the flexibility is because the school, when they hired me, scheduled my planning session first in the morning because school starts at 8. I get there, and so I just stay half hour later every day. So I can make it work, but if you can't, we can put you on the phone. You can talk to us driving down the road.
Gotcha. And then we have one, I want to make one announcement before Blaine calls in. I'm trying to get my time here. But the baseball team and the softball team at East Ryerson are joining forces. Their SSOs, their booster clubs are coming together for one big major blowout fundraiser.
Fun.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where this might be the last time this ever happens, but it's going to be a womanless pageant, and where men dress up like women and have kind of like a Miss America, Miss USA.
I've been there. I've been to them.
And they have the talents and everything. And last year that they did this, I believe it was 2007. They probably had 700 people in attendance, which is a lot of people. Well, that's even before social media really kicked in. So we're really expecting somewhere around 1,200 people to come and watch, and we're aiming towards 30 contestants. And if you want, there'll be a way that you guys can buy tickets, come watch this to support these teams. If you want to be now, this is something that we're doing really neat, is that where the silent auction is, we're going to have vendor tables. And so you can buy a table, say like your people from Exit, the real estate agent, for $250. They can be there shaking hands.
There you go, Barry, Rebecca.
Yeah. So, and I know Rebecca Retcher's a big time supporter of East Robinson soccer. But if she wanted to be part of that, it's a great way to network, meet people, show people your services, show people your products. So, and that's a very affordable, and it gets you in front of a lot of people in the local area.
And it's just silliness and fun. And I've actually hosted several of those over my radio career. I don't see them much now, but they talked my husband into doing it. This has been 20 years ago. He was the ugliest woman you've ever seen in your life. He was pitiful. It was so funny because they needed more candidates. They're like, Mark can do it.
Yeah.
It was just, he was bad. It was so funny.
We have a title sponsor, Joey Flam, who actually graduated from East, played basketball at East, went on to play at Bethel University, and Joey has a business in White House, Run Aesthetics. Yeah, he's helping me grow hair. Are
you gonna dress up?
No, I have to run cameras.
Okay.
Actually, the talk on the broadcast, people said, hey, they wanted me to dress up, and this is one of those things where, as using my influence, maybe I can drive the price up. Maybe I can have somebody. If you want to see me dress up like a woman, somebody's going to have to sponsor me.
You're going to have to pay him a lot.
Somebody's going to have to. Well, not pay me. Pay
it's for the charity. It's for the charity.
Yep. And so, but I told Joey, I was like, Joey, you're paying a lot of money to be the title sponsor and a co-host, so you don't have to dress up, right? He said, yeah. I said, it's all right, man. I said, if you was in it, I said, I think you'd get disqualified. I said, you're too pretty already.
That's so funny. Well, that's hysterical. And I mean, and it's all in fun. And what's the fundraiser for? What is the fundraiser for?
So the success over East Robinson baseball and softball over the years has just been incredible. We've had a lot of people from the community work on this land that's right there by the baseball and the softball field. And baseball, and you know this as well, it's becoming such a competitive. It's been a competitive sport, but it's getting even more and more competitive. A lot of schools around this area have indoor training facilities for baseball and softball. And so the land is ready, everything else is ready, gotta have to start building it. And so all the money goes to building this facility for our student athletes to have a place to really work out and really get out of the conditions. Because they're already in practice, they're already training.
Oh, yeah. And it's rough weather. I've seen our soccer and baseball guys out on the field, and I'm like, bless your hearts, it's cold. Today's gonna be good though. It's gonna be 60.
Yep.
I'm
Yesterday
excited.
was pretty nice.
Yeah,
I had some friends go fishing. Didn't take me, but it's okay.
So, but the weather, we're getting a little kiss of spring, but now it's supposed to snow Saturday, so I'm just there's a chance of it. So I've got my Chaco sandals on today. I'll put the boots back on whenever it drops down to like 40. But
typical Tennessee weather, right?
Yeah, I love it. Just hang out. We love it. Blaine should be calling in here any minute. Any other thing you need to cover before he makes a phone call?
I have a question for you. And weather like this, like, did you automatically know when you was doing traffic that when it was bad weather that you were gonna like have to talk a lot? Just people can't drive.
It's insane. And I mean, one of the times that we had the forecast got missed just a bit, and everybody was at work, and ice hit, and everybody was trying to get home. People were abandoning cars on the side of the road. It was insane. I had one time I got stuck at the radio station. This is before I got married, and I stayed at a hotel downtown for like a week because the weather was so bad. Because I was on the air so much because others couldn't get in, and I was doing traffic. I was DJing. Yeah, that's one thing. With radio, it never stops. I'm embarrassed that I didn't get in here Wednesday last week because, I mean, a broadcaster, you just get here. Yeah. But my husband was down because he got hit by a snowboarder on the ski hill.
Saw that.
Oh, wicked. I mean, he's got a broken rib, a fractured rib, and so he was really, I didn't think he needed to be driving on slick roads. I'm not awesome at it, so I wasn't sure we had power, so, there's Blaine calling right now. Let's go ahead and answer the phone. Yeah. So I was a little apprehensive to do anything on Wednesday, and so, yes, I'm embarrassed that I missed last Wednesday. That won't happen very much. Hey, Blaine, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, Laverne. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I'm just saying bye to Jamie. He does not have headphones, so I'm going to let him get some parting thoughts here and here. If you can hang for me just a minute, and I'm going to do an ad, and then I'll be right back to you. Is that cool?
That sounds great.
Awesome. We've got Blaine Keller on the phone. We're going to finish up with Jamie and then get to him and continue here with 1100 WSGI and 1 Street Over, our sports day. I love that we do this, but yeah.
Well, the last thing I want to say is I want to plug that guy that's on the headphones right now.
Absolutely.
Blaine does a phenomenal job reporting. I think that he is number one, he takes time to know the sports, to know the coaches, to know the players. He knows his stuff. If you want to follow Blaine, and now Blaine covers more than just Robertson County, but he covers our county very well. Follow him on Twitter, and I'll let him speak to his Twitter handle. But yeah, Blaine's an incredible guy. We're very fortunate. We're fortunate to have him calling in, to waking up. And he was supposed to be here, but he has a really busy day. So as I leave, just thank you very, very much for all that you allow us to do.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
And just have a great time with Blaine.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jamie. Right. And we'll get the headphone thing situated, and so we can just have this big conversation. And we will start utilizing these phone lines. Thank you, Jamie. And as we make the transition, I do want to go ahead before we start talking with Blaine and talk about one of my sponsors, Barry and Rebecca Richards, with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Jamie just mentioned Rebecca and the way she sponsors and works with the soccer team up at East Robertson. They're in Cross Plains. They've been there for over 20 years, and they're one of us. And you will see them out around the community, involved in all kinds of things, and helping to make sure that you're properly represented. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. Why do you want to work with Barry and Rebecca? Because they know what they're doing. They're experts at it. She's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. He came out of a marketing background, a vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years, so he knows how to make sure your property gets seen in the proper light to get the attention that it needs. If you're selling property and maybe you've posted it before and it just didn't get a lot of attention, well, you might need new pictures. You might need some video. What about some drone footage? He can do all of that and then get you up on Realtor.com. Great couple, great friends, and great sponsors of this program and so many other things around the community. You can connect with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, RobertsonCounty.com, or just pick up the phone and call them. 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Always, please let them know that U-Turn sent you. Blaine is on the phone with me now. Appreciate you, brother, for calling in this morning and joining us here on One Street Over. And I know your territory's been expanded, hasn't it, just a bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. First off, I want to say thank you to Jamie for the kind words there a couple of minutes ago. With a little bit of the changes happening at Main Street Media and our umbrella of sports coverage and stuff, I'm kind of delving into a little bit of Nashville area sports here. But
congratulations.
Still my main area is Robertson County.
Right.
So, this is still kind of just something on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not leaving Robertson County or anything like that. And I've had some people kind of ask me if that was the situation. I promise it's not. Still loving what I'm doing in the place I grew up and getting to do some additional stuff on the side there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why I wanted to address that, because I knew and that's congratulations. That's just a testimony to how well you do your job. And so we're excited for you, but very excited that you're going to, this is still going to be your priority. So that is very good news. But we can utilize this phone line when your day is just too busy and you can't make it in here. And we're going to get this set up to where we can have multiple people get on the phones and do all the things, so we can really expand this and grow this, because we want to know what's going on with Robertson County sports. I need help because I have a hard time staying up to date on it. So I do appreciate so much what you bring to the table.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Like I said, anytime I can be on the show, whether it's in person, on the phone, or any other form of communication, I'm glad to do it.
Well, thank you. And he mentioned your Twitter handle. Why don't you go ahead and throw that out there, because I'm liable to forget to ask you. What is your Twitter handle?
Yeah, that is sports, SPORTS _BK.
Okay. Sports_BK. That's pretty simple. Pretty easy to remember. So sports_BK. So if I follow you on Twitter, am I going to have links and updates and all the things that are going on? Is that going to help keep me up to speed on all the things that you're doing? Okay.
Just like if you were to follow Main Street Preps Twitter,
Okay.
Main Street Preps Facebook, or even the connection on Twitter or Facebook, you'll get pretty much a link to every Robertson County story that I publish that we put in our physical paper, and then you'll get a little bit of some updates and insider information that maybe doesn't reach the paper every now and again, and then you'll get a lot of photos and videos and some score updates from the games that I attend on a weekly or daily basis.
Okay, I've got to get into Twitter. Twitter is something that I've not delved into, and I need to. There's so many reasons in my mind that I need to do it, and so that's just one of those things that I've got to embrace. I need to get Jamie to sit me down and walk me through all the benefits of all the different social media platforms. But anyway, so he specifically said he wanted you to cover who's signing, what's going on with some of these students around that are going to continue their careers beyond high school. Is that what you're going to update us on today?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Last week was not the early, but the official signing period for football. In December, I believe we had our early signing period. So just to briefly touch on that early signing period, in which Robertson County area athletes did sign from there. Zachariah Prince from East Robertson, running back with over 1,800 rushing yards, was a Class 2A Mr. Football finalist. He signed with Indiana State. Springfield punter Logan Leftrick, who averaged 39 yards per punt as a senior, was a 2-year kicker for the Yellow Jackets. He signed with Southeast Missouri State. And then, of course, Greenbrier's Nathan Robinson, who had 102 tackles and 7 sacks his senior season. He went to the University of Tennessee to join former teammate Derek Taylor. And actually prepare for the Orange Bowl. He kind of got to practice with that. That was kind of a neat little situation that he got to do from that early signing period. But with last week, there were 3 or 4, I should say, maybe 5 now athletes that signed out of Robertson County in February. The biggest of which being East Robertson's Sean Groves, who in September made the decision to reclassify to the class of 2024, meaning he would graduate this year as a senior, then not enroll into a school until next January in hopes of landing a larger scholarship offer from a bigger school and getting to play at a larger level. Well, 4 months later, he decided against that and signed and committed to UT Martin. He had about 900 all-purpose yards his senior year and 9 touchdowns. A couple other ones to briefly touch on here. Devin Crenshaw, quarterback from Springfield, signs with Bethel. Had a couple of offers to some FCS programs in Division I schools, but Bethel was really the big one that gave him an opportunity to play quarterback, which is something he really wanted to do. He had 36 touchdowns his senior year. Was a really impressive kid to watch. From Joe Burns, he's Bailey Serenier is going to go 584 miles north to Concordia University, Wisconsin, for some early playing time. I thought that was kind of interesting, going almost 8 hours north of Cedar Hill. And then DJ Jackson and Eli Lawson from Greenbrier. One of them, Jackson, is going to Lindsey Wilson, and Lawson is signing with Cumberland.
Very exciting. I mean, that's a big old list, and this is just football and basketball. We haven't even touched baseball yet, right?
That's right. In baseball right now, I believe the list is 6.
Oh, wow.
5 or 6 for baseball signees. We had one
great.
last 2 Fridays ago, I guess. Taylor Head from Joe Burns, who also played football. He signed with Trevecca, and then he's got track and field. He's got softball, a couple of signees there. And then, I mean, there's bound to be somebody signed for soccer. There's bound to be somebody signed for another sport from the fall. You know, we're nowhere near the finish line for signings yet.
I know. It's very, very exciting. And I mean, we've just got so much great talent in this county. It is so much fun to watch. And if you, like me, haven't been plugged in enough to sports, this is your opportunity to pay attention and get plugged in. Now, that's something that Jamie was talking about, is we're coming up on the district tournaments. Now, do you have any insight into that as to what you think is going to happen as we move forward into these tournaments for basketball?
Well, it's going to be a big scramble these next 7 or 8 days. I can guarantee you that. You know, with the snow, and if you even want to call it snow, with the ice that we got throughout last week, district play for the regular season was supposed to wrap up probably today, with some non-district games being played at the end of the week, and then the tournaments would start next week. Well, now everything's been pushed back 2 or 3 days because of school being out from, I guess, Tuesday to Thursday last week. Is that right?
Everything I think they did some stuff on Thursday, but we were out of school Thursday. So,
right. So I think it was Tuesday to Thursday. There was no school, so you couldn't practice, you couldn't play games, anything like that.
Clarify that for me. So if they're out of school, they can't even practice?
Well, most teams didn't.
Okay.
There may have been some situations where teams decided to, but with the coaches that I've talked to since school got back into session, nobody has really practiced during that cancellation, I guess.
When I was in high school in the 70s, we drove in on the snow and practiced. And that's what we did. I mean, I can remember driving on some pretty slick roads to practice basketball, because that's just what our coaches made us do. So that's interesting. But then if the school is closed, though, the games have to be canceled? Because, I mean, all
after school activities have to be canceled. Whenever school gets canceled. Yep.
I was not aware of that. I'm learning all these things. So we were out Tuesday through Thursday and went back on Friday last week.
Yeah, and it also played a factor in the signing day ceremonies as well. Just to kind of touch back on that, I talk about Greenbrier's DJ Jackson and Eli Lawson. they were supposed to sign last week, and now their signing's been pushed all the way to this Wednesday
Okay.
because of the signings last week getting kind of canceled with school. Then Sean Groves and Devin Crenshaw were supposed to sign Thursday, I believe, and then that got pushed back to Friday.
Right.
They kind of signed at the same time, which, as a sports reporter, makes things kind of difficult being two places at once.
Oh, I can imagine.
To go back to your original question about district tournaments and basketball, just to kind of go down the list here, Springfield, the girls team sits at about the number 3 seed in 13-4A. They're going to have a tough road ahead with Clarksville and Rossview in that district. Excuse me. And then Springfield boys are kind of teetering between that 4th and 5th seed out of those 5 teams, so even tougher road for them. When you look at Joe Burns and East Robertson, they're at the cream of the crop, at least on the boys' side in District 8-1A. East Robertson has a share of the regular season district title, if I'm not mistaken. Joe Burns has to play Knowledge Academies tonight. That's a team in Antioch, for those of you that aren't aware. They have to play them to decide who gets the other half of that regular season title, because both of those teams split with East Robertson. And then the East Robertson girls sit in 2nd in District 8-1A. Joe Burns girls sit in 3rd. The Greenbrier girls, White House girls, kind of in the middle of the pack in District 9-3A. And Greenbrier has a good opportunity to take the number 1 seed, the boys' side, in 9-3A, but they've kind of slipped a little bit here and there, a couple of losses to White House, Portland, and Creekwood. So really going to need to figure things out, nail things down at the end of this season if they want to win the regular season and win the district championship. The last team out of that stretch, really, in case I'm forgetting everybody, is White House Heritage, which is really an interesting situation. The boys' team has lost a couple of games. I believe they're either one game over 500, one game above a winning record, or one game below. They came off a big win Friday against Fairview, an Associated Press-ranked team, and they defeated Cheatham County earlier in the season. So they have wins over the top team in their district and the second-place team in their district, but they've lost a couple of other ones that were really gimmies for them. So kind of an inconsistent team. And on the other side of things, White House Heritage struggling with a first-year head coach and a couple of injuries to their squad.
Okay. Well, and I appreciate that update, and I'm going to do my best to get to some of these games because I've been trying all through the season, and so now it's time. And I'm excited that our teams are doing so well, and I'm excited that the games are going to be played at Greenbrier. That's one thing I was talking to Jamie. The ones I'm trying to get to, they're going to be played at Greenbrier, so that gives me no excuse, right?
Yes, right.
Exactly.
Especially whenever these region tournaments kick off right after that, you're going to be hard-pressed to make it out to any of these games.
Where will those happen? Where will the regionals happen?
Yeah, regions are directly after the district tournaments, and the district tournament games decide who plays who in the region. But Springfield will have to travel to Clarksville, which, that's just because every other team in their district is in Clarksville. Joe Burns and East Robertson, if I'm not mistaken, since last year's region tournament was held at East Robertson, I believe they have to go out to Clay County or Pickett County.
Oh, wow.
Which is, east of Cookeville.
Oh, yeah.
To go play their region tournament. So that may be a little bit tougher. And, the weirdest thing was last season, some teams held their region tournaments at host sites, like what I'm describing here, where, all the teams that are in the region tournament go to one site and play. And some teams kind of just did whoever was the top seed. Okay. So I'm not sure if that's what they're deciding on yet, but I think we'll kind of figure that out and nail that down whenever we get closer to that date. Some teams, you tell them about the region tournament right now, some coaches they're still going to tell you we're trying to finish the regular season.
Yeah, they don't really want to talk about it, but it's one of those things. If you want to, a consideration, as you said, if you want to get to these games, now's the time to do it, because once the region's hit, you really just don't know where they're going to land for sure. In a lot of cases,
Exactly.
Right? Okay,
It is
very
an
good.
everyday thing where
Okay.
you have a girls team play Monday, then a boys team play Tuesday, then the girls team is playing again Wednesday, then the boys team is playing again Thursday.
Right.
And it just does not stop.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's exciting for the students, but my goodness, it'll wear you out if you're a parent, if you're somebody that wants to support them, or if you're a sports writer that's trying to cover all this. It's going to be an exhausting time for you. I've got to do another break. Now, we can continue to talk, and then I can let you go, or do you want to hang on with me through the break? How would you like to do that? We can do it either way.
Yeah, I can hang on. That's perfectly fine.
Very good. Well, I'm going to stop and pause for a second. We're talking with Blaine Keller, and he's talking about all things Robertson County connected for us through sports with the Robertson County Connection and all other kinds of things going on with Main Street Media. But we were going to pause and talk about our friends at Cumberland Connect right now. Absolutely thrilled with what Cumberland Connect brings to the table. I have been just so excited to be a Cumberland Connect customer, and they're just awesome. I can't say enough about the customer service, and I got this little thank you email from them that was just so helpful and gave me all kinds of links to other things if I want to check out other opportunities and other services that they provide. I've got a gig. My kids say I don't need a gig, but it's so nice, and it's so affordable. $80 for a gig. I was paying $65 to AT&T. My speeds were 3.5. And my friend Gwen, hers was like 1.5. It was terrible. She's a Cumberland Connect customer too. And anybody that I talk to that is a Cumberland Electric customer, they're like, oh, as soon as they knock on my door, I'm switching. It was funny when I took all my equipment for AT&T back to UPS. I said, well, do you know how to return this? He goes, I've only done a few hundred. He goes, now that that Cumberland Connect's coming in, yeah, people are switching over. It's becoming utility, guys. And because of that, too, there is now an affordable connectivity program that provides qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. And if you're eligible, you may receive a credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband services, because we all need good internet. And so if you think, well, I can't afford it. Well, yeah, you can, through the Affordable Connectivity Program. And if you want to know more, you can call them at 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. There's a great website where you can link in, put your zip code in, let them know, or your address in, and it'll tell you exactly when they're going to be knocking on your door. It's www.cumberlandconnect.org. Tell you about workshops that they're doing. I believe there's a workshop out in White House today. Go and reach out to them at the Chamber of Commerce, because Mandy had said she believes they've got a workshop out there today, so you might be able to catch one of those. I just can't say enough about them. I am a customer, and they are wonderful. When you get in touch with Cumberland Connect, please let them know that you turned Cincha, and thank them for being a full-time sponsor now of One Street Over. Talking with Blaine Keller, and he is all things Robertson County sports. Where else do we need to go, my friend, before we wrap up our time together today?
Signing day, we touched boys basketball, we touched girls basketball. We could preview some spring sports if you're interested in that.
I would be real interested in that, because I have seen the baseball teams and soccer teams out doing their work on the practice field and things like that right beside my room. And I know some of those young men and in the softball season and all that stuff. When does softball season start? Is it the same time as baseball? Because I haven't seen the girls out working it out yet. I've seen the boys, but not the girls.
They start around the same time, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
All those spring sports kind of have to start really early in the month of March just to get their season in before the school year closes.
Well, and my husband wanted me to ask you, and we need to talk a little bit about wrestling too, because I've got a student that they've been doing their team competition, but then they'll have their individual competition coming up pretty soon. Correct? That's how Melvis explained it to me, because I thought it was all ran at the same time, and he was like, no, that's later whenever you have the individual stuff that happens. So we've got that, and we also, my husband was big with track. He did shot put and disc. He was also football and basketball. He was one of those guys, but he big in shot put and disc. Still holds records in his school. So he's like, man, you got to give the track people some credibility. Give them some exposure. So he's like, don't forget track. So all those things. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with wrestling.
Okay.
We'll talk a little bit about Greenbrier just to start here. That was the team that made it the furthest, I suppose, out of every Robertson County area wrestling team.
Very proud of them.
Springfield
Yes.
and Greenbrier both won their districts. It was the first time in I believe 17 years for Springfield. That's what Coach Christopher Holter told me Friday. And then Greenbrier, it had been a couple of years as well. They reached the sectional round for their wrestling kind of classification.
Mm-hmm.
Fell to Page. I believe it was a pretty close game, 47-37. It might have been a little bit more than that. Wrestling scoring kind of throws me off, but they fell one round short of reaching the state tournament, and it would have been a great run for them. And I'm sure a couple of those wrestlers from Greenbrier will have a little bit of success in reaching the state tournament as well. I've covered them a couple of times this season, and they've got some pretty tough kids. Pretty tough kids, especially in those lightweight classes.
Right. I'm excited for them, and like I've got one young man that's in class with me, and so Melvis Lopez, he keeps me up to date. So he's always wearing his gear, and I'm very excited for them. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do individually as well. So I'm very proud of them as a team for sure. So
yeah,
go ahead.
And across the county, it'll be a pretty interesting slate to watch. You've got a lot of impressive individual wrestlers this season.
Mm-hmm.
There was no super standout team. Of course, Greenbrier reached the sectional round, but you've got some wrestlers, especially after a majority of the state-bound wrestlers from last season graduated. You're going to have a couple that, and maybe even more, that take their place this year.
So, okay, you mentioned how does it work? Will all the team part of state finish up before the individual starts up, or does that kind of go hand in hand with the wrestlers?
No, that's right. The team stuff wrapped up. The team state tournaments for wrestling wrapped up this weekend.
Okay, so they're
wrapped
done.
up Saturday.
Okay.
And they are finished.
Okay. I did not understand that. So now we're starting up with the single stuff. Is that right immediately, or does it pause for a moment?
There may be a week-long break, but I'm pretty sure they kind of pick it right back up as to not have any layover with athletes.
Okay. Well, I'll touch base with Melvis, and he'll give me the scoop, I'm sure, today. So, but very good. It'll be fun to watch them. But do they have to go through some kind of do they put their hat in the ring, or do the schools put them out there to compete? The individuals.
They do represent their schools.
Okay.
And it's a similar situation as to the team sport, where you have your districts, you have your regions, and then you have your sectionals, and whoever qualifies in it's all tournament based.
Okay.
It's based off of seeding and double elimination, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And whoever qualifies, I'd have to look up the placings for it, because it is kind of strange to know how many placings out of the sectional go on to state. I'm still trying to get a grasp of that, truthfully.
Okay,
But
well, I'll talk to Melvis.
a certain number of those out of the sectional that go to the state tournament.
Okay, very good. And I'm fascinated by it because one of my kiddos is involved in it, and it's an excellent. I've gotten to see a match the other day, and I had never been to a wrestling match, and I was fascinated. Man, it's aggressive. It's very interesting to watch. But and then now beyond that, where do we head from here? We've got the wrestling wrapping up, and then what's next?
Well, after this, you're really looking at the basketball postseason. For the next few weeks, I'd say, and then interlapping over that, starting on top of that, you've got spring sports. So I remember last year, East Robertson's boys basketball team was at the state championships, and I was covering their run to their first state title in, I believe, 30-some-odd years. And then 2 days after that, I was covering a softball game between Joe Burns and Greenbrier.
Oh, yeah.
So there's really no stoppage if you have a team that makes a really deep run in the tournament.
Okay.
You have basketball postseason going and going and going, and then you've got all these other spring sports just starting.
Well, and that's one thing. My grandson's involved with. Of course, he's little, but he's basketball, and I mean, as soon as we finish that, it's right into baseball, and it just never stops. It never stops. So now I mentioned track. When do you know much about the track season?
I know some names to look out for.
Okay.
There are a few. Abby Page from not Abby Page. Pardon me. Abby Page is a White House Heritage track participant. She was somebody who qualified actually for the state girls championship in wrestling last year and was the first from Robertson County to do that. She's also a standout track and field participant. She's a senior this year, somebody to look out for. Hayden Pageant, another player on White House Heritage team. He signed with Bethel last week. So that's another player to look out for. Emma Lund is the player from Springfield. I was thinking of a few moments ago, another 4-letter name, so you'll have to forgive me there. But she qualified for the cross-country state championships and was actually the first Springfield girl to ever do that this fall. She's hoping to qualify for the track and field state championships this spring. She's got a little running mate, Donald. I want to say it's Donald Ray, but that doesn't sound right. I know his name is Donald, so you'll have to forgive me for.
Oh, no problem. I'll put you on the spot with that one for sure.
But both of those Springfield athletes are someone to look out for as well. Springfield's kind of got it tough with a large class that they compete in for track and field. And White House Heritage has got a solid program. White House always sends a few. I'd be interested to see if anyone takes Greenbrier's spot. Paxton Manis, who signed with Cumberland football last year, was the one Greenbrier participant for the track and field state championships. So you've got some athletes all across the county and those 4 schools especially. So if I were to give a couple of names to look out for track and field, that would be it.
Okay, well, very good. And that's one thing that I think that, my husband's always talking to different athletes. He says, man, get out there and do something with track and field because it keeps you in condition for all the other stuff. And it's not hard on your body. And it's just something you can, and it's just, you'd be surprised at how well you can do at it if you're, training through other sports. So it's fun to watch. But anything else as we part ways, Blaine, because we're just about out of time.
Yeah, no, I think I touched every base that I was planning on touching today, Laverne.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for taking time, and we can always get you to call in. You've got Thursday mornings always with Jamie, and we'll get it to where he can talk back to you, and we'll get the listening issue and get him some headphones, and we'll get all that worked out before Thursday if you want to join us always. So the door's always open if you have something you need to cover.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Blaine. Blaine Keller, and he is with Robertson County Connection and Main Street Media, and we appreciate him so much giving us his time here on 1100 WSGI, and we appreciate you giving us your time here on 1100 WSGI. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Tomorrow, we're going to be hearing from my friend Thomas Turnage. He's got a new book out, and it's excellent. I read it over the weekend. We're going to also hear from my friend Lisa. She's going to come in here and talk to us about some things going on with their congregation, and I don't have all the specifics in front of me, but we'll have all that to update you on tomorrow here once again on 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a fabulous day.